Well, here we are. We're still doing the body work on the mullet machine, but we're going to be doing a few more product reviews. I don't know how good you guys are at body work. I am, as they say, an amateur, and I can't really see. I mean, I can feel with my hands, you know what I mean? But I think the best way to do this kind of stuff is to see it with paint on it. Yep, you know where I'm going, right? So we're trying a product that we have no idea about, and frankly, I don't even know. Is that a button? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, so we're going to try out this stuff. They come from the Amazonian site. Self-etching weld-through primer. I have been wanting to try this stuff forever. Now, I think, I don't know, I think we can still use that stud gun over there with this paint on. So what I'm going to do is coat this. I'm not chopping these off yet, just for the fact I still think there's a low spot somewhere in here, and I believe this is actually a high spot now. It feels like it, I'm not sure. Whoa, that's... So, we're gonna do that, and then we gotta be able to see, wow, that's not bad. I don't know if you guys are being able to see what I see, but this hood looks really good. There's actually one little divot right there that I see. And guys, researched this. I did not, and I apologize. But if I remember right, self-etching primer, I think etch means it's like, you know, kind of a rust preventative type thing. I don't know. Maybe it coats it really good. You know, sorry, that's a lack on my part. But I have been reading that like self-etching primer's good. I'm not a body guy, just remember that, guys. So don't beat me up too bad on here. So being that that's said, I'm also going to hit this one. Now I can already see this dent right here. It's not all the way out. And I'm kind of on the fence about primering it yet, but you know what? For the sake of the show, what we're going to do is I'm going to primer this. We're going to let it dry. It says 15 minutes. So we're going to get 15-ish minutes. And then I'm going to come back while that's drying. And this quarter panel is looking like, I mean, she's looking good. A lot better than what I thought. Remember, I am going to take this off. I just want this flush. I still have a low spot here I can see. That's good there, and then it's low here. I mean, not here, not here, not here, but right there. So what we may actually end up doing is trying a different product that we bought. And I've been kind of anxious about this. I've been wanting to try it. It's like a suction pneumatic dent puller. So, you know what? We're going to try it on that particular spot, and I'll tell you why. And this, there's like a fistful of just low spot, right? So, if this thing does its job like it's supposed to do, which I hope it does, it ought to be able to pull that all out in one fell swoop and save me a bunch of, you know, not so fun times with all these. So we're going to cut these off. We'll grind them somewhat flat, and then we're going to go from there. We're also going to see if I can find an unconventional way to try to get that dent out. That one's terrible. I don't know what the frig. It looks like a bolt or something. Something's, I mean, whenever they slid into something, this was the main meat and taters of the whole wreck right here. So this lip, I'm not sure what we're going to have to do to make that pretty again, but we're going to figure it out. This right here still needs to come out a good bit. I don't think our suction thing will work on that just because of where it's at. It's in a body line. You probably can't tell, but it's actually in a body line here. This one, I mean, I could show you in the trunk. There is like no room to really get to any of these. So we're going to use some unorthodox methods. I think what I'm going to try to do is slide this in and maybe smack on the back side of it to try to, I don't know. Like I say, guys, I'm not a body man. But we're going to try it. And I think that's it for tonight. We're going to definitely try those. We want to wrap this sucker up because we're getting anxious. We're getting anxious for the 69. So, and I'm wanting to get a top put on this. I want this car ready to go for spring because, you know, drive out to work, drive this to work, that one to work, this one to work. See what I'm saying? But anyway, we're going to coat this one. We're going to try the stud gun right there just for gigs, just for gigs. That may have actually come back really good. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. So I'm going to call the stud gun an absolute win. And so far, that is coming out great. I know you guys can, I hope you guys can see that. That actually, I am more than impressed. Stud gun, thumbs up. I am more than impressed. That is fantastic. I mean, I know that's still a little gnarly right there, but considering what it looked like, I wished you guys could see how, like, that plastic Bondo that they had would have fit in there. That 1/4 inch thick Bondo that they really plastered in there. So I'm going to have to let this set up. That there, I'm not going to lie to you, that is pretty darn good. I mean, that's really great right there. I don't know how that worked like that. It's got a little teeny tiny right there. We might see if we can weld one right there, pull it out just a little tiny bit. And then that one right there, maybe a little tiny bit. And for the quarter panel, I'm going to let you know what works because I don't have a solid clue on how to get this. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I won't lie to you. I'm going to take, I think, this right here, this extension. Yep, I'm not kidding you. And we're going to take it from the inside. I'm sorry I won't be able to record that. But we're going to take it on the inside and hit on the inside and hope to push it out. Because believe it or not, with it pushed out even further than what it's supposed to be, then I have something to work with. Then I could put this on the back side of it, on the inside, and a dolly hammer and make it flat. So maybe that's what we try. But either way, I'll let you know how good we get it or don't. And then whenever I go to the suction cup type thing for this, you guys will absolutely be there on that because I want you guys to see it as I see it. As you see, I don't even have an air chuck in it yet. So I've definitely not ever used it. It's gonna be a learning experience for us all. So stick around, give me a few minutes and we'll get right to it, all right? Just give me a few minutes. Well, it's been like an hour and a half worth of body work and I cut these studs off. Let me just tell you this. I broke a few of these off in the rear, like around this area, and they come off like flush. That means it didn't penetrate that well. I'll show you what I mean. Like the whole end come off like that, right? And it broke even. So like very little grinding needing done there. I will go back and forth. I will go back and forth on the hood right there. And it was a hole. It was a hole. So then I had to break up my welder, fill in the hole, grind that down. If you don't want to cause yourself extra body work, don't do that. Just get you a pair of side cuts and, you know, just cut it off. And anyway, so this weld through primer does weld through just like it's bare metal. Stud gun, same thing, works great with it. Now we're to the part that I have been anxiously, I'm getting ahead of myself, hold on. So I'm going to explain my theory on body work and dents and so on, etc., etc. This is absolutely free, nothing factual. Well, maybe, I mean, because the dent did come out quite a bit. So the quarter panel ding, that was a lot worse than this, and on the body line. Now granted, this is not perfect, I'm not saying it is, I'm actually still working on it. I just want to get to that up there real quick. In my personal opinion, I am not a body man at all. These are non-traditional dents, right? Like, I don't have any idea what they hit, slid into, whatever, right? So sometimes you got to use non-traditional methods. This is a 1/2 inch drive, very long socket, because that's a blinding light. You can't get in to some of these spots just right, and you can't get the right angle, this, that, and the other, right? So sometimes you have to do untraditional things. I put it like this, I hit a downward motion, causing it to push out. I also took it to this seam down here there was another dent down here, right here, to which I knocked out all of it except for this very end, which I'm going to actually take the stud gun and try to pull on that a little bit, mainly because I don't think I can reach it. We're actually going to try a 1/4 inch extension. I'm not going to kid you a bit, but that come out beautifully compared to what they really didn't do. Now granted, this is still going to take a skim coat, nothing big, a heck of a lot less mud. It's going to be a skim coat. It's not going to be 1/4 inch thick crap that they had in here. There is no reason at all that this can't be planed out pretty good. This is actually really good. It's a little low. I might try the suction gun on it for a minute, maybe not. I might try to work on that from the inside a little bit more. This one here I'm going to work on next because it has a real deep gouge right here. Other than that, I'm going to take a dolly and a hammer and try to massage that a little bit. But now we're to the part that I haven't got to try. We're going to try the suction cup right there, and hopefully I can set this camera up in such a way that, you know, you guys will be able to see it. So hopefully, let's just see, does that show? Yep, right there. So of course you're going to have air, and it has 2 different sizes suction cups. This is a complete guess. Since it's about yay big, fist big, I'm going to go with this one. You have to use this thing. This is air off. And somehow, with the air engaged, like so, it actually engages the suction on it. And then you release and it lets go. But I'm telling you, that sucker is... We're going to try the other suction cup real quick. They twist on and off pretty easy like this. And you're also going to want to lube this through the air chuck before you... Okay, well apparently this thing like stopped recording for a second, so I don't know where it left off. Anyway, we're switching our suction cups. And we're going to switch to the smaller one. They simply twist on, twist off real easy, right here. And this is your air off. Somehow adding air to it by going, you know, straight down with that lever makes it have suction. I don't know how. So wow, that thing, that dent's really in there. My goodness. I'll tell you, man, the thing is finding the sweet spot to the dent. And you'll see what I mean when you start working these. Golly. Because you may only be able to get little spots at a time. I was actually trying this to see if it would pop it all out at once. Because I don't think there's any way to pop that from the inside. I may try to maybe we'll try to take the top up and punch it out a little bit. That might be a good idea. Sometimes you have to take out the inner door panels, pop open the trunk and hit it. There's all kind of untraditional ways to do these things. Like I say, these are not factory dents. So it's going to take non-factory ways and non-traditional ways to get them back the way they're supposed to go, in my opinion. But I am surely matching this side off of the passenger side, because I really don't know how they go. I know they're supposed to have a coat or a bow to them. I don't know. And that lines up flush the whole way. This one obviously does not have anything like that side. So hopefully we're not really going to have to do a whole lot there. Maybe a little bit of rust repair, which is fine. But we're not going to have to do the whole whatever in the world's going on over here kind of thing. So I'm going to have to find a sweet spot to this. We're going to pop this. I think we're going to pop this up, fold that up, and see if we can't somehow get to that and smack it out. Because if we can smack that sucker out, I honestly think that's going to be the key to this one. And that's the whole trick. You have to be able to find the dent's sweet spot. Because like I told you, like I've always heard, you guys have heard it too, I'm sure. If you've talked to any body man whatsoever, I'm not a body man, but I know a few. They say metal has a memory. It wants to pop back. It's just how to get it to pop back. But up here is good. It's just right in this little bit bigger than a hand area right here. So let me see if I can't pop this. And yeah, we might try on this real quick. I got so much body work to do. I'm just I really just, you know, this is the first body work I've done. I mean, I did a little bit to the Sunfire Bird, but this one I want it to look as good as the old Banditas, you know? Because what people's gonna be looking at this car and saying, oh man, look at this, look at that. I don't like it when people kind of tear apart my car, you know what I mean? So that's the thing about body work too. You got to put in the time. What's underneath is going to show up on top. If I didn't repair this and I just mudded it, somebody, I guarantee you, would say, yeah, that thing's got some thick mud in it, don't it? Why is it cracking right in here? Well, it's because they had a 1/4 inch thick Bondo in it. Not good. So I think that's the point we're at. We're going to try to do all that good stuff. This here, I'm actually thinking we might try a skim coat. Remember, skim coat acceptable, thick coat no. We might try a skim coat of, you know, the old Bondo, just to see where we're at. And then we also got an air file. this, something went shooting. This sucker here, for areas, you know, body panels, anywhere, you want long sanding strokes. You want long, even sanding strokes, I promise you. That's going to make your panels look flatter, deflatter, the whole nine, the whole shebang bang. That's what's going to bring a good solid paint job around. The longer, smoother strokes that you have on these, the better off you're going to be. That part I do know. I've been watching some videos, a lot of videos, been talking to a lot of fellas. My buddy Delmer's filled me in on quite a bit, so anyway, this yakking was absolutely free. I'm not even charging for it, but we're going to see if we can get to that. Hopefully we can. Every car is going to be different. If I can't get to this, we're going to have to stud gun it back and just, we're going to have to get it, because I am not leaving this panel like this, and it's not going to be mudded. Absolutely not. It may have a skim coat, but it's not going to be this thick to match up with this. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to stop yakking, get cracking, see what kind of hornet's nest we got. All right, so give me a few minutes. If this one didn't line up exactly, I apologize. My camera did some weird thing and shut off, and I kept talking. Didn't work. Anyway, a few minutes, let me see what's going on. Well, kids, there's no real good way to get at this panel. As you see, I had to, let me get my flashlight here. This carpet is glued all the way up and around. Why? Because it was the 80s and that's what they did. They glued it and then they threw this real nice trim piece that's, you know, you probably can't find around it to hide this horrible lip. And then I end up taking off that piece there. That look at this. This is what you don't see. This spoiler here, or whatever you want to call it, which also you can't find. So don't go breaking those. I actually got to repair that one over there. They go perfect. They flow with it. They take a special spoiler. Everything about these convertibles is special. So I end up taking the top up, down, all around, door panel off because it was hitting the top, and I cannot for the life of me get to what I would call the sweet spot at all, because it's hitting right down in here. What I need, I'm pretty sure there's a couple spots I could take right in here, pull that sucker out. So I think what I'm going to do is take the big stud gun, or the big studs, and weld, boom, boom, boom. It's probably going to take quite a bit, because, you know, it took all kinds for this one. And looky there, I know that may look really horrible, but believe it or not, that's actually great. These are the top of those studs that I ground off. I didn't finish grinding them all the way off. This right here, that is like day and night different, and I'm still not done with it, just so you know. But this lip, it came out at least, oh my goodness, it came out like 75% better than the way, I don't know if it was a body shop, I don't know who did the original repair. Maybe they did what they knew. I'm doing non-traditional type, you know, with the trunk open, and, you know, I'm just trying to shove the metal back down from the inside, you know what I mean? Trying to give it the correct form back, trying to make it remember the way it used to look, however long ago it was wrecked. And from my guess on it, it was done probably when the car was fairly new, but I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing this was long before Carfax was around, so probably never know on that one. But anyway, we're gonna take the stud gun, weld a few more in there, pop that on out, and hopefully the next episode we'll be doing, how do I want to say it, thin coats, skim coats of Bondo, not thick. Remember, say no to thick Bondo. I think that was the one like before this or a couple episodes ago. I can't even remember anymore. But you know, we're going to throw a skim coat hopefully over top of this with the dents pulled out, and hopefully with this just to smooth it on out all the way, and hopefully we can get to some sanding like on the whole car, and you know, just do a little make that go away. We got a lot of work to do around here because old dad took the grinder, and whenever I was doing the windshield, remember, I really got to into this paint. So we went down to bare metal on that. We're going to go down to bare metal again, like right up in here. We're going to etch primer it, I think. I'm going to do a little bit more research on it, see what I should be doing. That's a bad on my part, but I'm pretty sure etch primer is like a sealant. I'm not sure, so forgive me on that, guys. I don't really know, but anyway, we're going to try to find out the best primer for these and go with it like that. I remember, you know, old body guys, they always talked about etch primer, epoxy primer, and that's pretty much all I know. So anyway, we're going to what are we going to do with this? We're going to sand that back down so we can throw a skim coat, same with this, skim coat, and then we're going to see where we're at with it, and hopefully, oh man, it's late. I gotta get up like early too, and it's cold. God dang, it's cold. I don't know if it's cold where y'all are at, but we had a cold snap today. It went from 52 to 36. Yay, Ohio weather. So anyway, just so you know, unless you want to cut this out and weld it back in, which, like I say, I don't want to modify this car really hardly any, unless it's just like, you know, bucket seats and paint and rear end and possibly a 5.3 and a, okay, I'm modifying it, but you know what I mean. I don't want to cut it up and hack it back together. That just does. I'll pull the dents with the stud gun, and we will get that dent out one way or another, and hopefully this dent puller we can use in the future, because I see good things. I see really good things out of it. This sucker has, you know, I'm gonna hit the like button on it, because this sucker actually really surprised me. I didn't think it would hold as well as it did. Whenever it come off, it was sheerly because I was on like a slight angle where this goes up. See how my hand goes up like that? It was kind of like that, and this is uneven as poopy here. So it didn't have a best surface, and I was really giving it, I was wally mopping it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna say go for it. I think that thing was like 70 bucks or something, maybe. It was very easily affordable. So if you got it in your budget, that right there would be a good tool to keep around. And then if you got it in your budget for, if you see yourself doing a lot of sanding, get you one of these. And it's a, oh yeah, I got these off up at Harbin Freight. So if that's where you're wondering, I did get them at Harbin Freight. This one's a Baxter. Delmer said she's a good one. So if he says she's a good one, it's a gooder one. Other than that, guys, the rambling's free again tonight. Not gonna charge anything for it. And hopefully we'll be doing a little bit of mud work Very little, very little. And I'll show you how I'm going to do it. You can do it however you want. It's just an idea. All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. But before I go, will you just real quick, we're almost up to 200, man. Let's get there. I would love to hit 200 by like Christmas. That'd be awesome. Early Christmas present, just saying. And we'll see you guys next time here on Right Turn Garage TV. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great weekend.